Oh yeah.
And
Okay, I'm gonna see if people calm down without me hitting that gavel. Okay, thanks for being here. Welcome to the Page Unified School District regular board meeting. Today is Tuesday, December 12th. We're starting at 5:32. Let's do a roll call.
Bryce Anderson, Mike Mangum,
Chuck Weiss.
Sandra Kidman.
Buddy Cochran, Barb Shields.
Okay, Desiree's on her way. She said she's at the dam, so she should be here pretty quickly. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I asked Mike to lead us in that.
I
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. We'll have a moment of silent meditation now. If you could join me in that. Okay, thank you. It brings us to our first voting item, which is the approval of the agenda. I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I
Okay,
second.
thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, thank you. That brings us to announcements and comments. Do we have any blue cards today? No blue cards, okay. That brings us to our special business, and we have the great pleasure of recognizing our Page High School state champions boys cross country team. So Dr. Anderson, start us off.
President Kidman, members of the governing board, it is my honor and privilege tonight to recognize the Page High School boys cross country team. For the second year in a row, they have taken home the big prize. Can I get the cross country team to please come up? And their coach. On behalf of myself and the governing board, I want to congratulate the cross-country team and the coaches. These types of things don't happen by accident. There's a lot of time, energy, commitment that goes into attaining what you folks have, not just this year, but last year as well. So it is my privilege to ask the governing board to please step down off the dais. We would love to get a picture with our state champion cross-country team. So I'm going to have you folks hold this in the middle.
Okay, this way.
Congratulations, guys.
I just gave it back. Just give it
Thank you. Thanks.
Good times. Thank you. Okay, I get to do the recognition of our Page Unified Employees of the Month. And we're gonna do a little repeat of November. It's gonna take a little longer. As unfortunately, there's a bit of miscommunication last month and people didn't even know they got Employee of the Month, and that's unfortunate. So we're gonna do a redo. All right. Make sure I got the right themes. Okay.
October certified up here and October classified.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm happy to present to the governing board the following employees. We're going to start with Gloria Prowl. Come on up. This is Gloria Prowl. She's a second grade teacher. And when I congratulated her last month, she's like, oh, I got something. And then the second thing that she said to me was, wow, people actually recognize my efforts. And that made me so happy because that's exactly the reason why we're doing this, is so that we can recognize outstanding employees. So this is what Dana Bennett had to say about Gloria. Gloria took over second class mid-year last year. At first, she was a little hesitant, but she made some changes to help her have a successful year. She asked for help to improve herself and volunteers to help out with extracurricular activities. This year, she's doing excellent. She has excelled in so many areas. Her student scores are going up. When you walk by her class, her students are engaged and interested in what she's teaching. Best of all, she has talked to her students and parents about attendance, being on time, and staying the whole day. Her classroom attendance has improved immensely. So congratulations, Gloria. There you are. So the write-up's in there. So
Thank you.
and then one thing I always say is, if anybody gives you grief this month, you just point to that. I'm employee of the month. Don't talk to me like that. Okay. Our certified employee of the month is Mr. Kimball. I don't see him here. Wait, I'm on the wrong month. I'm on the wrong month. Okay. Wait. Catherine Patterson. Okay, is she here? Okay, she's sick? Oh, man, that's terrible. Well, we'll still read it again because, here we go. Catherine's positive attitude and sense of humor is a joy to work with. She's a wealth of knowledge for the Exceptional Student Service Department. Kate has been working for the ESS department for more than 7 years. She's willing to help all teachers, providers, and other staff. As a new employee, Kate has welcomed me to the school district and has trained me for my position. She has been wonderful to work with. No question is too small. Kate will always take the time to explain the process required for our position. And congratulations to Catherine. Now we go to December, and I didn't see Mr. Kimball, right? No? Okay. So Mr. Kimball says, this is what was said about Mr. Kimball. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's the one who nominated. Goodness, see, I'm definitely not school board member at the moment, so there we go. Oh, I can't even pronounce that. How do I pronounce that? I don't slaughter the name.
It's Rachel.
Regelin McPuso. Is she here? Yay, come on up. I'm so sorry. Oh, God. I'm so glad you're here. I get to shower some praise on you. It's always fabulous. Okay, tell me your name one more time. Regelin. Yeah. People slaughter my maiden name all the time, so I try not to slaughter other people's names, but they still do. Is an extremely important member of the Manson Mesa staff and our school district. Since she's been hired 3 years ago, she has taken on increasingly more responsibilities and leadership roles in the school. As the ELA teacher, she heads up the school literacy program and provides valuable insight and guidance in school meetings and projects. Recently, she has taken on the added school district role of 301 PBP representative for the school. She recently developed a data tracking model and aligned systems for the school to use in building goal attainment. She is well liked and respected by the Manson Mesa students, and many have been observed seeking out the help that she provides in her classroom to receive extra guidance and assistance. There are other observations of leadership she provides due to the calm and professional example she sets. Her service to the school and district is appreciated by her colleagues, and the Manson Mesa community is lucky to have her work for us. Congratulations. Yep, and it's all written up in there, so when you're having a day where you don't feel so great, you read that and go, I'm employee of the month. Thank you. All right. And then Gail Savage is our certified employee of the month. I don't see her here either. I mean, classified. Not here either. Oh, sad. Okay. We're gonna read what is said about her. She was recognized by Chuck Sharp, and Gail is the heart of the CTE department for Page Unified School District. She goes above and beyond to ensure the CTE staff are taken care of to accomplish their tasks in the classroom and in the shop and lab areas daily. Gail provides support in a wide spectrum of areas to include ordering supplies and equipment, providing the emotional support for the staff when needed as well. She's a critical asset to the department and often gets overlooked, but job well done, Gail. Congratulations. Let's see, Chuck here. Alrighty, that now brings us to item which is our student recognitions, and Mike is gonna do those for us today.
All right, I was asked to do Page High School first because this young lady needs to get going. So Page High School, Madison Case. Come up here so everyone can see you. All right, recognized by Miss Hatt. Madison Case, a 10th grader, is nominated by Madison Hatt from her third hour chemistry honors class. Miss Hatt states that Madison is a gem, great at following direction, and is always willing to help others. She is always willing to learn. Maddie is one of those students who teachers dream of because of her willingness to ask questions and learn as she helps others. She is very responsible and consistently puts forth her best effort to succeed in my class. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations.
Make sure you get your picture taken.
Oh, yeah.
That'll run.
All right. Since we're here, we'll do Manson Mesa High School. Katrina Zana? She's not here? Okay. Katrina is the type of student, she's recognized by Olivia. Oh, come on. She was recognized by Olivia Vanelli. Katrina is the type of student that is disciplined in her studies. Her time here at Manson Mesa, she has made the effort to make up some classes that she is needed to catch up on. She advocates in her beliefs. She participates in her Native heritage activities with pride. She has a respectful attitude with both her teacher and her fellow students. Katrina is reserved and quiet, but she also displays kindness and caring behaviors. I appreciate all the effort that she brings with her to school each day. Way to go, Katrina. Congratulations. And then Sage and Sands Virtual Academy, we have Quillandro Jim. All right, Sage and Sands Student of the Month is Quillandro Kim, 8th grade. Quillandro, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not last name. It's Jim.
Jim? Okay. Colandro has shown a lot of good effort in the past months, turning in quarterly work and showing a lot of focus trying to complete his educational goals for the semester. Colandro is showing what it takes to be a successful student at Sage and Sand. Good work. Congratulations. All right, now we'll go back to the preschool. Kason Haskey. No? Yes? There he is. Come on. All right. He is recognized by Miss Rose. I chose him because he is able to come out of his shell and make friends in the classroom with everyone. He is now a friend to everyone and everyone wants to play. Congratulations. There you go. All right, Lakeview Primary, Raya Dodson. All right, come up. She is recognized by Gloria Prowl. She is a sunshine in our classroom. She is always has a positive attitude about everything. She uplifts and encourages everyone around her, including her teacher. She wears a bright smile on her face and easily finds a giggle. She goes about her work in a quiet manner. When asked for help, it's always in a quiet, respectful way. She always shows respect and follows our classroom social contract. Congratulations. All right, Desert View Intermediate, Allie Mauger. No. All right, she was recognized by Selena Henderson, third grade teacher. Allie is an exceptional human in every way. She is kind and helpful, whether it is helping classmates or helping keep us all organized. She is someone who we can count on. She gives her full attention to every problem. She does not quit when it gets hard, but is thoughtful in her approach to solving any problem that comes her way. We are fortunate to have Allie in our class. All right, and then last, Page Middle School, Natalia Longworth. No? All right, recognized by Mr. Stewart. Natalia is an 8th grader at Page Middle School. She is the daughter of Eugenia Lineman and Freddie Longworth, residents in Page. Natalia has come a long way through her time at Page Middle School. And though she has experienced many challenges along the way, she has become a positive presence for staff and students. She has helped her turn not only herself, but also her friends around from previous years. This year, her strongest grade is in Avid, which is one of her weakest in the past. And she is an example to students with a solid A. Congratulations, Natanya.
Okay, thank you all who came to be recognized. Mr. Lawright back here with the camera, follow him. He's gonna take your pictures and you're gonna appear in our next newsletter from the district. So great job, guys, and thanks for coming here. Alrighty, that brings us to our next item for board reports. Who wants to start off? What? So did I miss something? Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm already like ahead of time. Thank you. I appreciate that. First, we do the recognition and approval of our donations. We have the following donations: $100 from Infinity Home Care to Page High School. Well, Devil Day, $500. Oh, help me out.
From Tuttadean Tours.
Tours to Student Support Services, and $1,763 from the Canyon Club of Page to Page Athletics. I need a motion and a second to approve the donations.
I'll make a motion to approve the donations to the district as presented.
Thank you.
A second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay, thank you. Now we come to reports. Mike, do you want to start us off?
I don't think I have anything at this time.
Okay.
Yep, so I had the opportunity last week to go down to the ASBA conference. It's always a wonderful experience and very educational in regards to being a board member. A lot of interesting experiences down there, especially we had some students from Page, along with Carlos Brigade, down there from the Unity Club, and they had their some educational experiences with language and culture, and to include some of the other tribes from the Ta'ona O'odham Nation and the Apache tribe. Put on some performances there. It was a pretty awesome experience again, and educational. I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Desiree?
Yes, I got to participate with the Napa Language Unity Club pageant that took place last month. And then also, it was good to see the students as well participate in the Hispanic, oh my goodness, Native American Heritage Month celebration as well too. And that was pretty awesome. And it's always nice to bring in different dancers for exposure to our student population. So it's really nice. And then also I did attend the Arizona School Board Association conference as well. And part of what some things that Charles had just highlighted, we brought in students from San Luis that performed pre-conference day, and then Babakura Unified School District. And then our students presented on amplifying American Indian voices in school districts, and then also San Carlos. That was pretty awesome. But there was a lot of good breakout sessions, and it was probably one of the well-attended annual conference. More than 600 folks were there, and I believe we sold out 3 hotels. So it was pretty awesome. Good experience, and the students and Mr. Brigade did an awesome job also helping with the passing of the gavel ceremony, being the first Native American to serve at the presidential level. It was such an honor to have students there to be a part of the blessing, and also my family as well. Quite a few of my family showed up, and just the support was amazing. And then also and now pulling in from Las Vegas, I just attended the NISA conference, and pretty intense information, and it's pretty nice because this subcommittee really focuses on American Indian programs and how they can better help students. And they also had students present from Kayenta and also Tuba City. So our neighboring schools students did an amazing job as well, and it was just unique. And hopefully we get ourselves to be members of NISA as well. I know that, when I walked into the conference door, that was like the first thing that I was asked, why is Page Unified School District not a member of NISA? And I'm like, what? And so folks are looking forward to the NAPIS conference, which is going to take place in March in Washington, D.C. So that's always awesome. I mean, Impact 8 is a huge deal. And also just, I think we're going to also talk about the Indian policies and procedures. So I just appreciate the type of information and just the tools and knowledge that I gained from attending all these conferences to bring back to our school district to make. So it helps us to be successful.
Very good, thank you.
Just quickly, I've had the privilege of being able to take part in the Portrait of a Graduate. And I really wanted to commend those that are serving in that committee. Our presenter really is able to create a feeling of cohesiveness and collaboration, and allowing each of us to speak to what we feel is most important. And graduates, I'm really impressed too that this planning is is surrounded around what we can do for our children in the future, starting from kindergarten. And when you have that kind of dedication from the people that work here, it's sure to be a success. So it's been a real privilege for me to be able to take part in that. Thank you very much.
All right, I hope I'm getting the organization right. I just want to thank Toys for Tots for bringing toys to our elementary schools every year. I saw many delighted students today bouncing basketballs. I was informed that only the 3rd and 4th graders got basketballs, but everybody else was also delighted with their toys. And as we were driving by Lakeview, we saw kids bouncing their basketballs. So I know that this has been a delight to our students for many years now, and I'm just grateful every year for them for doing that for our students. It's a wonderful thing. Okay, Dr. Anderson, I should say.
President Fowler, members of the governing board, I had an opportunity over Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving, to meet with ASBA policy person Cheryl Patterson to begin reviewing our, I'm sorry? Charlotte Patterson, to begin reviewing our policies and getting them updated. Coming back after the Thanksgiving break, we went right into our Native American Heritage Month celebration. Really want to commend our MC who came in from Farmington, did a phenomenal job with all of the different age groups that came through. Started the day with Lakeview Elementary, and they just lit up the room. Mr. Gunther is going to have to work on the high school because Desert View showed him up in such a big way during that celebration. It was absolutely amazing. Kids coming out of the stands and actively participating with the dancers was an amazing experience. And then had the opportunity to attend the ASBA, ASA annual conference, which was fantastic. It was so incredible to see our students there representing our school district. To host a breakout session to provide insights was absolutely incredible. The performances, all that they did, and again, want to congratulate Board Member Fowler for starting your official presidency at the conference. So I look forward to what ASBA will bring this coming year under your leadership. So congratulations.
All right, thank you. We don't have any unfinished business, so we'll go right into the governing board consent agenda. Mike, will you read our thingy?
A copy of the consent agenda is available at the district office. All items listed will be considered as a unit by the governing board and will be approved with one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items unless a board member requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered as a separate item.
Okay, so I'll need a motion and a second, please.
I'll second or make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you. Okay. All right, that brings us to calendar of events. Item 7. You can find your upcoming dates and events in the attachment. Looks like there's a whole lot of basketball going on. Very exciting. I hear the cheerleaders are starting to annoy our opponents
Developing a reputation.
because they're just so full of cheer. So,
Oh, my question was, when is the graduation? Is it this week? Or is it Manson Mesa?
The 19th.
Next
Next
week,
week. All right,
Tuesday at
awesome.
5 and 6 o'clock.
then we got winter break. Our next board meeting will be January 9th, and January 23rd will be our study session. And then there's all kinds of more information in here, so refer to that. Okay. That brings us then to our additional agenda items. Start with agenda item 8A, which is the second reading and adoption of policy advisory 35. I'm gonna spare you all the abbreviations, but I need a motion and a second to approve, or adopt, I should say.
I make a motion to approve Policy Advisory Volume 35, Number 3, through all of the wording that is there, transfer of records
Okay, so as presented, okay,
as presented. Yeah.
all right. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Dr. Anderson?
President Kidman, members of the governing board, interestingly enough, much of the highlighted policy that I went through with Ms. Patterson had to do with this policy advisory. So just making this go into effect will address a number of the issues that need to be addressed within our policies. My recommendation is to approve it as presented.
Okay, do we have any comments or questions regarding these policies? No, then I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, thank you. Okay, that brings us to item 8B, also a second reading and adoption of policy IIE, student schedules and course loads. It's also a voting item, so I need a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve policy IIE, student schedules and course loads.
Okay, do you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Dr. Anderson?
President Kidman, members of the governing board, this policy is an update to reflect traditional 7-period school day. The existing policy still reflects what was a block schedule. This just brings us up to speed with how we are currently operating.
Okay, do you have any questions or comments? No, then I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. I think I heard unanimous. Okay. All right, that brings us to item 8C, discussion and possible approval of the 4-day school week effective starting school year 2004 through 2005. This is an action item, so I need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the 4-day school week and effective coming school year 24-25.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Anderson?
President Kidman, members of the governing board, a significant amount of work has gone in, and I have prepared just a very short PowerPoint just to take us through the journey that we've been on. So if we could go to the next, already so quick. So this is not something that has been taken up with haste. There has been a lot of time and discussion. A lot of research has gone into it, and this is not a new topic to this district. When I arrived in Page in November of 2021, there was a committee already making efforts to look at this. Last year, when the calendar committee worked on developing the calendar, we actually identified or broke into different subcommittees to look at every aspect of the 4-day calendar. Do the research, look at the impact on student outcomes, talk to districts who already have gone or moved to a 4-day school week, trying to learn what we could from them. As the committee worked last year, we just weren't in a place to be able to survey and get feedback from our community. We weren't in a place to be able to develop a set of frequently asked questions, a exemplar calendar. The calendar committee worked very hard to put those pieces together. Once those pieces were put together, it was first brought to a governing board study session to review all of the documents from the calendar, to the frequently asked questions, to the survey itself. Prior to launching the survey, I went out and met with all of the different school staffs across the district. I had a chance to meet with a school site council. And then as we were getting ready to launch the survey, we did a communication blitz. Ms. Shields and I went out to each one of our chapter houses and talked with the folks at the chapter, as well as put up a poster explaining what the district was looking at. It had all the information related to the possibility or the survey of a 4-day school week. It had a QR code. It had the website that people could go to cast their vote. Those posters were also placed at each of our schools around the district. We ended up blasting it out on our district Facebook page. We ran a quarter-page ad in the Lake Powell Chronicle for the 2 weeks that the survey was open. And we also did a phone call and email blitz to all of our families across the district, letting them know of the survey and how to access the survey to get that feedback. And here's just a little bit of the data. 3,541 phone calls went out, 2,220 emails went out. The newspaper ad we talked about, the posters, Facebook. And some of the numbers are staggering on Facebook. Post engagements consisting of any action on the post, such as likes, comments, and shares, 4,447 times. Post impressions being the number of times the content was displayed on a screen, almost 14,000 times that this survey was displayed on a screen. The estimated number of people who saw the posted content, almost 13,000 people. So it was certainly out there, communicated, and the feedback that we got back, we did everything we could to try and get this information so that we could be as transparent as possible and open as possible to this possibility. So the total number of surveys that we received were 1,236. Here's the breakdown of the surveys from students to parents and guardians, members of the community, PUSD staff. And then we also added a box to try and identify data from each of our chapters. One of the pieces that I will note on this is people did not check multiple boxes. What we found with the survey is most checked a single box and then moved on to the next question. So I believe that there were more from our outlying communities that accessed and took the survey than this actually reflects. And that's the information I have related to the calendar. We've provided the calendar to the board. Really, this action item is simply to make the decision to move to the 4-day school week. The discussion and decision related to the specific calendar is the next action item. My recommendation based upon the survey data is that we move forward in approving the 4-day school week.
All right, do you have comments, questions?
I would just like to express my appreciation to all those that worked so hard and so thoroughly to gather the information needed so that we could make a really informed vote. Thank you.
Desiree?
My question is gonna be, what will this look like for teachers on Friday? So right now we do have early release day, which is gonna be prep time and PD, but what is that gonna look like?
It's a great question. So the way we've designed the calendar is one Friday a month will be a required staff day for professional development.
So no more early releases.
No more early releases?
No more, our day stays consistent, starting at 8 o'clock, ending at 3:30, Monday through Thursday. There are no early releases, and the only time we may have a late start or an early release, it would be related to weather. But we've really built the calendar to stay consistent Monday through Thursday all year long.
Anything else? Okay.
That's it.
No, Mike? No, you guys are all ready to vote? Crystal? I don't see any, no, I'm not ready to vote. Ready to vote? Okay, then I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
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 I'm gonna abstain my vote.
Okay, so I have a I abstained.
Yep.
Got that? Okay. Alrighty, guess we're moving to a 4-day calendar, so got lots of work to do.
There'll be a lot of work to do, and that's correct.
I think,
Yes,
I
and
know-
thank you to all the committee members that have put time in. I know it's been a long time coming, a lot of work put into it, so thank you.
yeah, I echo that. I know there's gonna be a few people that are not gonna be happy about this, but according to our data, I mean, if you add our staff responses from the positive and the neutrals, I don't care either way, we're almost up to 90%. And then the students and parents hover right around 75 if you do the same thing, so.
No, and I just appreciate the the survey. I think that's the most important thing. But I think for me, I just needed a little bit more information, but it's also on my part that I can ask some of the questions prior. But the thing is, understanding like how is this gonna look and reflect academically in the long run? For me, that's what I look at as far as student achievement and so forth. But I know that, I mean, after reading some of the slides, and yes, the group did present to the board at the beginning of the year back in January. So, I mean, I'm curious to see how this looks. But yeah,
And we
I know that
actually,
it's
and we
gonna
actually
be
had a pretty good
beneficial.
discussion last night with some of the committee members that were actually
Yeah.
here, because Bunny had some good questions, that were brought up, and we were able to have a pretty good discussion on a lot of it, so.
Understandable, but I wasn't present, so
Yeah.
that's the reason why I'm saying it's also on my part. I was attending a conference, so it's okay.
Well, one thing we talked about yesterday, the first year we gotta be patient because the first year we're gonna run into a few hiccups. That's to be expected, but then we'll watch and see how it goes and give this a good several years and then we'll go from there.
Yep.
All right, thank you, everybody. Appreciate all your work. Oh, please, go ahead.
I think what convinced me, is those that were there last night knew that I was really skeptical, but what convinced me is understanding how this could really encourage recruitment and retention of highly qualified educators, and that's where it begins. And if that can be the case, that effect trickles down to our students. And so that was really the convincing thing for me to hear that last night and to appreciate the hard work and the transparency that went into this. So thank you.
Any other comments? All right, thanks, everybody. That brings us to item 8D. So now we can approve actually the school calendars for a 4-day school week. We also have the 5-day ones before us, but now that that's decided, we're gonna look at the 4-day ones. So what I'm gonna start, first I need a motion. Well, okay, I'm just gonna do it, but I wanna just state beforehand, I really appreciate the fact that we have 3 years before us. So the motion is to approve 3 years of calendars for a 4-day calendar as presented. So I need a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve the 3 years of 4-day calendar.
I'll second.
All right. Dr. Anderson.
President Kidman, members of the governing board, the calendar reflects what was posted. We simply posted a single year for people to have a general understanding of what the calendar will look like. The additional 2 years are patterned after that first year calendar. The objective of the calendar committee was to work to get 3 calendar years out there so that parents and community can plan accordingly. And that's not to say that we may not have to bring a calendar back for adjustment as things may change, but wanted to at least get an initial 3-year set of calendars approved and up on our website.
I look forward to not getting a phone call. Why is that calendar not out yet?
Question.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the calendar right now. Now, are we okay looking at, because February 17th is marks as no school, and knowing our community likes to celebrate and follow our basketball team to state, I'm just kind of looking at it.
But it's
Are we
Friday and
okay?
it's off.
But not all, it just depends, right, on when AIA has their champion semi.
Where's Megan? She's still here?
Well, not
Just text her now. I'm kidding.
just make,
No, but
You should
usually
just
it's on
add that.
Friday. Usually
Yeah.
it's on Friday. The state. Not always, I know, but
So it'll be the 21st or the 14th.
yeah, I just want to make that known because that's something that we've come across multiple times in years prior.
And that's something we can certainly look at, and I don't know that the AIA puts out their calendar that far in advance. And again, trying to get this out for our community to have a good baseline to be able to make plans was the objective.
But I think that the years where we did have those issues, it was usually on a Friday. So hopefully, people will have a fabulous 3-day weekend to go down and,
Hopefully, yes.
yes. I have high hopes for that. Any other issues that you noticed on the calendar or feedback you want to provide? Sure. Yeah. Yes, but we moved that up. Dr. Anderson, tell us why.
President Kidman, Mr. Weiss, the reason for moving up as the calendar committee looked this in our current year, the discussion really centered around when do we want teachers and parents to have conversations? When does it become too late to shift the trajectory of what the student is doing? So the calendar committee felt it important to move those dates up so that we could meet with parents earlier. There's enough baseline data of how students are performing, but those conversations could take place so that if a trajectory needed to change for that student, it could be done in a timely manner instead of waiting until the fall.
Because typically our parent-teacher conferences were right at the end of the quarter. You walk in and you go, oh, well, nothing we can do about that now, right? So this is trying to, be a little more proactive. Kids have been in school for a month, and now there's still there's still time to help them fix their grades or, but that was the reasoning behind it. And let's see. And same thing, well, February is a little tighter, I think. No, not that much, about the same. So I think it helps our students be more successful, especially so. At least that's the hope. Anything else you noticed? No? Yep. Okay, so then I'll ask for the vote. All in favor to approve those 3 years of calendars for a 4-day calendar, 4-day school week, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Did I hear all ayes? Okay. Alrighty, unanimous, thank you. Okay, now we're getting to item 8E, which is approval of Indian policies and procedures. Also an action item, so I need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve the IPP as presented.
I second.
All right, Dr. Anderson?
President Kidman, members of the governing board, the approval of the IPPs the Indian policies and procedures is an annual action that is taken by the board. I would like to take this opportunity to invite Mr. Begay to give just a brief overview of the Indian policy and procedures that have been developed.
Governing board members.
Okay.
Push the slide.
There it is. Governing board members and also everybody that's here in attendance. Policies and procedures updated version is actually presented before you for review and possibly adoption. So Indian policies and procedures, the best way that I describe it is it serves as an umbrella for our impact aid, as well as Title VI, as well as our Johnson O'Malley. And basically it's there, it's in compliance with CFR 34, as well as impact aid 70004. 7004, I think it added an extra zero there. And keeps us accountable as a school. Also involves tribal officials and parents to be part of our planning, implementing, designing, revising, making recommendation, serving as consultants, and also be part of the evaluation. So basically involvement. Another thing, I'm looking at communication here. This helps us better serve the community and build a better communication system with our tribal officials as well as our American Indian parents. And if you were to actually go through the policies and procedures thoroughly, it actually is broken down by fall and spring hearings that are going to be taking place, as well as the tribal consultation that we're doing. So basically, we've been doing some, for example, the tribal consultation. As a good example, we've actually done that over time, but maybe not as consistent as we should be. So policies and procedures is there basically just to align that we are adhering to these policies and procedures.
One of the other pieces that I'd add, and I'm very grateful for the work that Mr. Begay and the group that he works with has put into this, because the Indian policies and procedures that we were operating under when I came into the district did not directly reflect what the district was doing. So there's been a very thoughtful process and approach to developing the IPPs before you this evening that truly identify what the district will do and provide greater specificity related to ensuring that we stay in compliance.
Of course, I have questions. The Indian policy and procedures, last year I learned that this actually gives leverage and understanding of how the impact aid is utilized and how programs are funded through impact aid, again, as he had shared. One of the things that I have a difficulty understanding is that in years past, that it has just been put into the consent agenda and it has been passed year after year until last year. I believe it did go before the board under the regular agenda. And I questioned a lot of things. As a parent, sorry, Mr. Begay, I know that you're new into the position of Indian education, but even prior, there's not even information that is being shared with parents as it states in this policy, as far as being let's see. An example is the LEA will disseminate relevant application evaluation program plans and information related to the LEA's educational programs and activities with significant advance notice to allow tribes and parents of American Indian children the opportunity to review and make recommendations. So previously as a parent, I've never received any information, and that's just been kind of what has been happening. And then also having conversation with my chapter officials in multiple areas, asking them questions. What are you aware of when it comes to the IPP and also the impact aid? Because in reality, this reflects back on the students that are coming from the reservation that are attending Page Unified School District. For me, that is like huge, because in the years prior, being a part of the Indian Education Committee, I've come to realize and understand that our Native American students have never been recognized at the level that it currently is at now. For that reason, I give back a lot of to our students, especially the Napa Language Unity Club, to give them the exposure that is needed to learn to utilize their student voice and also opportunities. But in reality, these students have been doing such a phenomenal job, as the superintendent and Chuck had mentioned, to present at the ASBA conference, and just, even participating in the NAPIS conference in Washington, D.C. Because again, it goes back to our students. 80% of our students are Native American here in the Page Unified School District. And how does that reflect? So if we are passing a policy such as the IPP, we don't even have a parent. From what I've seen last year, and why I made a big fit about it, is because we don't have a parent advisory that has the advisory that has parents, elected chapter officials, and students, because that was all inclusive of the policy. Why, and that was my thing, is why are we passing such a policy, giving it lip service, when we're not even abiding by our own policy? So now reading this, I see that the students are no longer a part of this policy, but in reality, it still states that tribal officials are going to be a part of this. And then in reality, when are the fall meetings happening and when are the spring meetings happening? Because we say we are abiding by these policy, and reality, where are they posted on our website? Where are they posted in reality into chapter houses? And how are parents receiving these information? For me, that's how I see it, is we are not being inclusive to a policy that we continue to pass year after year, and it's just disheartening. Because I'm one that attends the Impact Aid conference in Washington DC. And again, just recently, the past few days, attended the NISA conference. It all reflects back on our American Indian students, and we need to represent and be inclusive and equitable to who we say we represent and how we represent the students, especially the 80%. I mean, that's just my insight. And how many of our chapter officials have received the full data information about Impact Aid? And it's just not a couple of chapter officials that should be involved, but we need to do our due diligence to get more of our chapter officials involved.
Okay, I noticed in there it says, give some timelines and stuff. Do you want us to put those on a yearly board schedule so that we get a report? What has been done?
We did that last year.
Okay.
We did that last year. This was supposed to come back before us in the fall. It was supposed to actually summer, am I correct?
I don't.
I had this, and I asked that we visit this during the summer. We would bring it back in the fall so that it's ready for,
Beginning, I think you are correct.
yes. And why are we just now seeing this? The due diligence, we need to do a better job at sticking with our policy calendar.
President Kidman, Board Member Fowler, I can tell you that there has been a good deal of work put into this, that this is, yes, a requirement of Impact Aid, Title VI, and JOM. However, we were reminded during our tribal consultation that Impact Aid dollars are for all students, not just those students that reside outside of the city of Page. It is funding for all students.
So make sure when you send your business manager out to the reservation, when it comes to the chapter meetings, that they present exactly what you just mentioned. Because when I was there as a parent sitting in the audience, Lori Wilson basically mentioned Impact Aid funds only benefit the Native American students. The 80%, that needs to be corrected.
And it was. We had two chapter presidents at our tribal consultation, and they were aware. I believe there was a meeting today of all of our local chapter officials, and Dodie had planned to be there to be able to explain that to all of the chapter officials.
Thank you. Moving forward, I just asked that I be part of some of those discussions as well.
Okay, I want you to be happy next year, Desiree. So, I will get with Barb and we'll make sure that we follow up on those timelines and that I know what the timelines are. And, we'll make sure that it pops up on our, because we have that annual schedule of what needs to be done when. We'll make sure that's on there. And then we won't, then we'll be able to make sure that that's always there and we'll follow up on it. Sound good?
Sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Rie, for presenting, but yes.
Any other comments, questions, concerns?
I have a
Go ahead.
question on the procedure 3 down on the 6th paragraph. If it is determined that there are gaps in American Indian participation in the educational programs or activities, Page USD Governing Board in consultation with the tribes and the parents of American Indian children will modify its education program in such a way as to improve American Indian participation. I know this is an in case of, but participation, and I'm not well versed in all this, I admit that, okay? What does that participation need to look like, you know? And where and when, and then what kind of modifications, it's easy to say this, but I'm concerned on how that would be done, what the parameters of participation is, and how that would be done. I mean, is participation, kids are here at school, is it, voluntary? volunteer participation? What are we exactly talking about? I guess a little more succinct like that.
President Kidman, Board Member Cochran, to answer that question, IPPs are required of school districts that have differing levels of student enrollment or percentage based on demographics. Our current demographics in this district are 82%. The IPPs are intended to ensure equitable opportunity to educational programming. One of the pieces that the IEC, in conjunction with the Indian Education Department, they do surveys annually to look at whether the programming is meeting the needs of our students. That survey then is used to guide the district as we look at making adjustments to our educational program. But we have 82% of our
No, go ahead, I'm just disagreeing with what, yeah.
82% of our population, and it's really about making sure that there's equity for all students to be able to engage in the program. Our students are across this district allowed to participate in any of the programs that we have offered, and this policy works to ensure that that is in fact the case.
Can I reflect a question to Mr. Begay? Okay, Mr. Begay, as far as what was mentioned, the survey that is done annually, that is basically Indian education survey for Johnson O'Malley in Title VI, am I correct?
Needs assessment survey for Johnson Valley, yes.
Okay, with that said, being a previous IEC member, but that's just basically Johnson O'Malley. It's not inclusive to impact aid. Am I right or wrong? Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, you're absolutely right, but can I further answer that question? Do I need the microphone or am I?
Yes, please, that way we have it on the recording, thank you.
So just understand that I'm a year into the program, and from day one, there's lack of training. When I came aboard, here's your keys, here's your office, that was it. But no training on procurement policies and Indian education policies, IPPs. And it's been a sink or swim situation for me this year. But from what I've learned, we're a small school, small enough to where when we try to get IEC members aboard to serve, it's hard. It's hard to find people that will be committed, that will actually make the time to be here as an IEC member. So if we were to look at Johnson O'Malley, we have our own IEC members. If we look at Title VI, they also have IPG, I think it was called. They also have their own similar to IEC members. And then we have Impact Aid. This is just, it's not something that's in place, but maybe for bigger schools. But they are somewhere in there supposed to have an ad hoc program or such a program made of parents. But since we're such a small school, we've been using the IEC members over the years to serve as IEC members for Impact Aid. Johnson O'Malley as well as Title VI. And for, I guess, when it comes to Impact Aid, we never really had a committee, but we've been using the same assessment data that we've been using for Johnson O'Malley to reflect. So in a way, we would need to come up with an assessment that would reflect all three areas, since IPP actually serves as an umbrella for Johnson O'Malley as well as Title VI as well as Impact Aid.
And just to clarify, the funding, Impact Aid dollars are foundational funding. Title VI are supplemental, as are our Johnson O'Malley funds. So Impact Aid and maintenance and operation funds operate the same way. The IPP policies are a requirement, but there is not a structure required for the implementation of Impact Aid. That just becomes our foundational funding that we use to operate the district on a day-to-day basis. However, the surveys that are done annually are used to guide programming and how we adjust what we're doing or programming that we bring in to better support all of our students across the board.
Correct. And my understanding is the reason why an IPP was established is for such as schools like us, we're a border town. So an example, not just us, but Flagstaff, Winslow, Windrock, where it is a border town, and majority of the time, we want to make sure that we're, not majority, I'm sorry, but we want to be inclusive and equitable to all students and making sure that they're given the equal opportunities. But at the same time, just reading the policy, like I said, from last year to this year, I mean, some of the things are not even aligned, and moving forward, I hope that things are aligned and, you know, Mr. Begay needs to be more so involved in this IPP as part of also Impact Aid. And also it sounds like we need to get our Johnson O'Malley Indian Education involved as well too. When I say involved, is they need to start attending the NAPIS conference, NISA conference, and getting themselves acclimated with this policy so that we are all on the same page and we're not working in silos, but understanding that we need to also do a retreat where we also get our chapter officials involved so that they know exactly what this IPP is looking like, especially when it comes to going out to the chapters. And we're requesting signatures from the chapter officials to approve the Impact Aid. So that's just my thought and just my understanding. The more that I'm learning about Impact Aid and IPP, I'm just surprised, like, wow, how is this not even an opportunity in our district?
And just to clarify, the source check signatures are not to authorize impact aid funding. It is to verify students in that area. So it is not directly tied to funding.
I understand that, but your IPP right here basically states that American Indian children and also your elected members as well too are part of this conversation. It states it in your policy, our policy.
Okay, it looks like we need to spend some more time on this.
Yes,
Okay, when do you want to spend some more time on this?
I would like to have it on our next study session.
Okay, which is January 23rd. Do you want to check the calendar? Make sure you're not at a conflict.
President Kidman, if I may, we are going to have to set a special meeting for this.
Oh, okay.
We have timelines and
Okay, no, I understand that, but, I was just gonna say, last year, I remember we approved it and decided we were gonna work on this more.
we can bring it back.
Sounds
And
like
I would
we
be happy
did.
to have.
Sounds like we did a lot of work on this year, but we're not quite done yet. Do you feel comfortable?
A special meeting, yes.
You wanna have a special meeting?
Or
What
we
day?
approve and we bring it back to the January study session for further discussion and we can always reapprove it again.
Yes, can we have it on the study session, please?
So
Okay.
we approve it tonight, we'll bring it back to the study session. in January.
Are you okay with that date?
Yeah, I'm okay with that date, but I'm gonna vote to abstain. That's just.
You can vote however you want
Yes.
to. All right. Any other comments? No? Okay.
I'm gonna oppose my, that's a.
You do what you, that's your
Yes, that's my vote.
prerogative.
That's your right.
That's why you're here, Desiree. Okay, all right. But we do have that on the work study session now.
Yes.
Okay,
It will be on the work study
all
session.
right. Just double checking we got all that up there. Okay, everybody else, everybody ready to vote then? Okay, all in favor say aye.
I'm going to abstain at this time.
I oppose.
Okay, so we have 3 ayes, oppose, abstain. Let's tell 3 so the
Motion carries.
motion carries. But we will revisit this in January and we will do some more work on it to make sure that next year you are happy.
Thank you.
Because I don't want an unhappy Desiree in here again. So, at least when it comes to this one. All right, sounds good. We will take more, we will do that. All right, thank you. Okay, that brings us to item 8F. Approval of IGA with the Arizona Department of Education for Arts Consumable Grant. That's also a action item, so I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make a motion to possible approval of the IGA with the Arizona Department of Education for Arts Consumable Grant.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All right, Dr. Anderson.
President Kidman, members of the governing board, this is an IGA that we are entering into with the Arizona Department of Education that will go to provide additional funding for consumables for our arts programs across the district.
Okay, any questions or comments? Looks like we have some more beautiful ceramics in our future. I approve this. I have a nice collection on my windowsill. All right. Okay, if we're ready to vote, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Is that unanimous? Okay, all right. Grants are always great, so wonderful, thank you. All right, that brings us to item number 9, which is our future agenda items. And remember in January, we need to elect board officers, sign conflict of interest forms, review board norms and protocols. Looks like we already have some future items for our work study session. And so just keep that in mind. And are there any other ones you would like to add to this at this time? If not, just remember our policy, what is it? 5 working days. Make sure to let Barbara, Dr. Anderson, or me know that you want to add an agenda item. And then we can get that up in a timely manner. Okay. That then brings us to my favorite motion. Who would like to do the honors?
I make a motion that we adjourn at 6:44 PM.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimously adjourned at 6:44. Please make sure to sign all the papers.
There's not very many.
And then Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in the new year. You're always better dressed than me. Pants, sweater.